Hello YouTube fans, here again, and I thought I'd do this one. Classic film, well, if you're into video nasties that is, one of the most popular video nasties they may add. Come out since I say 1979, because there's a bit where it just has the old Dracula film, the one with the actor that played him in 1979, but the film come out in 1980. It was denounced a video nasty, one of the most popular video nasties. It's an hard film to watch, I'm not going to lie, and it's disturbing, but it's a very well made film, without sounding weird. It is a very well made film. That being the notorious, the most popular of the video nasty era, Cannibal Holocaust. And we'll start Cannibal Holocaust. I've muted the sounds, hopefully I'll get a naughty letter from YouTube, and I'll play your Cannibal Holocaust, the corridor that is. So you've got this beautiful music. Sadly, I can't play the music with it being on, I don't want to get shit from copyright and all this. But you've got this beautiful music, and one thing that will give Cannibal Holocaust do. One thing I'll give it do, they do actually film this in a real jungle. It's not this fucking CDR shit, that was before CDR. And they actually film this in a proper jungle. And the actors, there's a lot of history about the film, that the actors were supposed to have been killed in real life, and it was all BS. They actually paid a lot of actors a lot of money not to appear in another film, which I find funny because one of the actors, 1 year after, appeared in Cannibal Fairlock, another cannibal film, and also appeared in City of the Living Dead. So I always found that quite funny. This actor appeared in a lot of other well-known horror films and so on. It's a good, beautiful bit of music. And you got the news talking about these people who are doing a biography on cannibalism and cannibals, and you've got a bit of TV footage. Very interesting. I get in trouble for copy, but then you've got the word Sony on the TV. So I do like the fact the film is, some of this do actually look like the same place where they filmed Cannibal Fairlock. It's like I say, come out 1 year after this. And the first bits of Cannibal Holocaust, I think they're that bad. They're in the jungle, a bit of a shitty effect there. This cannibal got shot in the face, so you can see it's a fake head and a body. But the rest of the effects are a bit enduring. The first bits ain't really that bad. It's more like a typical jungle adventure film. But the first bits ain't really that bad. But if you've ever seen Cannibal Holocaust, you get the idea. The fact the people who are doing this biography are dead. They find the footage of the film through intact, and what they see is disturbing. Another bit interesting about Cannibal Holocaust is one actor that appears in this, believe it or not, was in porn. I'm not lying, he was in porn. If you ever remember Debbie Does Dyers, he was in that as well as other porn. So this was his big break to appear in the movie business. So this was the first film he actually appeared in. He appeared in a few other cannibal films. He appeared in Eaten Alive, roughly the same there, and 1 year after he also appeared in a small role in Cannibal Fairlock. I do give this one, the copy, the beautiful transfer, it's properly remastered. It's just it's a very hard film to watch, so you do see a lot of, this being the uncut one, you do see again, you see a lot of cruelty done to animals, which is quite common for these cannibal films. You know what I mean? It really is. It's quite funny because this was the one that was noted to have the most worses of cruelty to animals. There's a bit where this little cute animal gets cut in half. You can hear it screaming in pain. So if you don't like seeing cruelty to animals, you definitely do not want to see the uncut version of Cannibal Holocaust. A good bit here, they're in the jungle, there's some little monkeys, cute to look at, they're running about. If I remember rightly, one of them falls and gets eaten by a leopard, which if I remember rightly, they used the same footage in Cannibal Fairlock. Di finds a body here. This is a bit, I do admit, it's a bit not very nice to watch. They've got this cute little animal, I'm not going to show it, because I don't want to get in trouble, but they've got this cute little animal, and he cuts it in half. I'm not going to play the sound, you can see it right now. I can see it actually streaming in adding there. And you can tell me it's not special effects. You can actually see this poor animal's being killed. And he doesn't even kill it for fucking food, it's just for sock fowlery. The acting is good though, from the actor who appeared in porn. I have heard rumours that they dubbed his voice. This is again a disturbing bit. This guy kills this woman. It looks like a rape scene, but believe me, it's not. It's just something. I'm not going to put it in detail, but it's just something down there. So put it in detail. And he messes her insides up. And then if that ain't bad enough, he bashes her head in and kills her. So there are some disturbing bits in it, but the film does get worse as it goes on. This is nothing compared to as the film goes on. There's even a scene where a pregnant woman, gets killed, and they pull the baby out. Very disturbing to watch. But it definitely had some good effects in it. The most popular scene, can't even watch that bit. The most popular scene is the scene where you may remember the scene if you've ever seen Cannibal Holocaust, where they get a woman stripped naked and shoved in a pole. They're actually going to make a finger at you. Goes from her anus, and the big pole comes from the other end of the mouth. The effect, if you ever want to know how they've done it, there's a good biography, look it up. But nobody was killed. It was all special effects when they did Cannibal Holocaust. The only down is they actually killed animals for real. And there's your answer. The first bit is, like I say, it's a jungle adventure film. They're walking around the jungle. I do like the fact that they did proper do it in a jungle. It wasn't, like I say, it wasn't set and any of this shit. They did actually proper film in a proper jungle, the Amazon jungle, if I remember right there. And like I say, the first bit is not really that bad. I mean, apart from that torture scene, there are a bit of blood and gore in there and cruelty to animals. And I do admit the ones who are playing the cannibals really do pull off a good performance. So he gets the film. There's bits here which remember me talking about Faces of Death. The funny thing is, there's footage here would be used in the second Faces of Death 2, where all these people are getting shot up. That was actually used in the second Faces of Death. For people that don't know that. So there's good bits looking at footage. It's the people being killed who did this biopsy affair. A lot of bits here, but basically you can see it's real footage. And I do love, the one thing I do love about Cannibal Holocaust is they use footage and use a 4:16 format to make it look like the filming, and they use a 16" millimeter. They do some bit here where they kill a fucking turtle, again for shock value. You get the idea of eating it, but do we really need to see a turtle being cut in half and broken up and ripped to pieces in front of you? So it definitely doesn't hold back the door in the torture scenes. I do love the fact though that they used two films in this, and that's this was just before they did found footage films before Bear Richtaf. If you remember Bear Richtaf, 1998. 1999, sorry. Well, that was before they did any of the found footage, and before 1999, get it right, they did Bear Richtaf. I always had me wondering whether Bear Richtaf, or the director that did Bear Richtaf, saw this film being Cannibal Holocaust. Because it does find it very funny. They do use similarly the same technique. Tamdor looks like found footage. Again, cruelty to animals, the spider gets cut in half. The bit in here where they kill a pig, and again, there's a lot of torture in it. They put people in a tent and they burn them alive. But I can't get the idea what the story's about. There's a guy here, he's dying of some illness. This bit I always find hard to watch when they kill a pregnant woman. I've already said it, but I need to say it again. But they get the berserks, they all get killed by the cannibals. The guy who died to save the film is trying to get the film destroyed because he's just seen what these people were doing. So it's an interesting story, Cannibal Holocaust. It's hard to watch, but I get the meaning of the story and it's very cleverly made. And I do think this guy played the guy who, like I say, was in porn. He does do a good performance in this. They all get killed here. They'll get their heads bashed in. The footage is pretty fucked up. I always loved the bit where the people who wanted to show this film out on TV, the look on the face. Definitely doesn't hold back at this. You know, you got one woman, she gets raped and murdered, she gets her head cut off. definitely it's Dora. And this being the uncut one, there's a lot of other fucked up scenes in it, which I'm not going to say. It destroys the film, walks off. I do love the ending where you hear the monologue and you hear the actor's voice saying who are the real cannibals. But that's Cannibal Holocaust. It came out in 1980, even though really it came out in 79. But it thought it did. It was a video nasty in the UK. It was banned for some days in the UK. It was called a video nasty. But it was a video nasty. And people said it was a snuff, which it wasn't. But again, real death to animals, like in most of these cannibal films. One of the most popular ones. You can now get it in the UK, but some of the bits have still been cut. The one I've got's the uncut one, not like I'm boasting. But if you don't like cruelty to animals, then go for the cut one. Yeah, it's Cannibal Holocaust. That's what I was going to say about it. It's not a nice film, but it's a very well made film. I can watch it. It is hard to watch. There are some disturbing bits in it, but I can appreciate what the story's about. I can appreciate it. Other than that, that's Cannibal Holocaust. That's me doing the corner into them. Be smart. Be safe. See you later.